Hey everyone, this is Robin, and we're sitting here with Brian Garay at the 4Art Space. Hey Brian, how you doing?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me.
I'm glad that you weathered the storm getting here today. So we're going to talk to Brian today about his inspiration. His work is directly behind him, and you can kind of see a very diverse selection of paintings. So Brian, why don't you start by kind of giving us your insight of what inspires you as a painter?
Well, it's a bunch of things. But to start with, I'm a student of art history. I love to read about it. I love, started out studying the Baroque artists and some Renaissance before them. And my focus now is like 19th century European and American painting. And, art history is a world history. They seem to intertwine. So, you get the benefit of both worlds. And also, I just like representational painting, realism. And nothing really too risque to say about my paintings. It's just that I enjoy it, and I just like the wonders of the world.
Yeah, I think what attracted me when we first met was your beautiful landscape paintings. They were these little tiny things, but they were so elegantly done. Like I felt like I was standing in front of that mountainscape or in front of those flowers or looking at a real live vase. I don't really see a lot of people, a lot of artists painting like that. When you do that type of work, like explain to us kind of like what your thought process is. What inspired you to do that? How did you feel working on little things like that? Because they were tiny, like...
Yeah, it's especially the smaller works, you really get to play with brush strokes and exhibit brushwork, and that's what makes it fascinating. There is an artist from Chicago, legendary, Richard Schmid. He used to tell his students, I don't want you to just paint an apple. I want you to paint an apple that when the viewer looks at that apple, it's going to make him think about the whole universe. And it's not just an apple anymore. It's something more. I'm not quite as good as Richard Schmid. He's a legend, but that's what inspires me to keep practicing and getting better.
Yeah, I know the feeling. I think, I always look at a lot of artists, and as diverse as we all are in our creativity, if you're not in awe of other artists, then you're really following, in my opinion, the wrong path.
Yeah.
Because, if you don't sit and look at other people's work and really admire their creativity, then it really speaks volume about that person.
Yeah.
But I mean, I love the fact that, we've been surrounded, you've been with 4Art for a while, and we've been surrounded by really a good number of fantastic artists.
Yeah.
Diverse artists from all over, and I think what's made 4Art so unique is the fact that we've spent a lot of time talking with one another.
Yeah.
Hell, if the camera could have been a fly in the wall, half the times we've had conversations.
Yeah.
I mean, they were phenomenal talking about art. And we would be excited to see each other's work and talk about it in depth. Do you think that you, in the past few years, have had a lot of those kind of conversations?
Yeah, I feed off the energy of other artists, and I'm always learning from them. I get inspired to go home and work. The enthusiasm, and the energy, I need it.
Yeah, and you work with a lot of models too in your work. And how do you normally get your models? Are these people that you know, or?
Some of them are professionals, and some of them are ex-girlfriends, stuff like that, you
Yeah.
know. But yeah, but you know, yeah, some of them are professionals or friends.
Yeah.
To just, you know.
Do they get excited to see your work after you finished it? Do they get to see it?
Yeah, yeah.
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 It's neat to see I've only worked with a model once when I did my first sculpture. It was a nude model. And of course in school we had nude models and stuff, but that was a little different. You were younger, you weren't really as, you know, experienced with dealing with that. But it was, I think what was great about that was getting the model's perspective of all of the students in the class.
Yeah.
And she was very gracious, but man, she was very excited to see everybody's interpretation of her. So I find that pretty fascinating too.
Yeah.
With dealing with people.
About a year and a half ago, me and a fellow artist both worked on the same model, but it was more of a photo shoot. So we were just taking reference photos, and you know, and I posed her in classical poses, you know, really thoughtful. And my friend though, he's more of a fantasy artist, so he had her dressing up in all these costumes with you know, horns and wings and all this other stuff, and it was kind of fun to see the two different styles of working. Yeah. I think I was rather easy on her compared to him. You know? Yeah.
I'm sure I feel like a lot of times, you know, artists have such wonderful stories that they just don't get a chance to share. And, you know, I think with this YouTube channel, and, you know, thank you so much for being a part of it. I think that part of what I'm just so looking forward to do is having these sort of conversations so that people just really can connect with real live artists and their stories. Yeah. And it just being, you know, because we're all from all different walks of life.
Yeah, everybody has a story.
Everybody has unique, interesting stories, some older than what we have. Yeah. And those perspectives, I think, are so important moving forward. Yeah. Because knowing how the world was 50 years ago compared to how it is today in terms of, you know, the art world, I think is really fundamental for us to understand. Yeah.
And, you know, this past, you know, a couple of years with the virus going around and everything shut down, it's still, this channel is a good way to connect with people. Right, exactly. Because we can't have shows and exhibits, you know.
Perfect timing. I mean, it was, you know, it's always been on my plan for 4Art as its third, you know, level up. And so I'm really looking forward to really getting more in-depth conversations with you, Brian. I think what we'll end this conversation with talking about is what I'm looking forward to is recording you out in plein air. Yeah. So how about just giving us a little tutorial real quick about what plein air really is?
Well, plein air is painting on site, live, usually outdoors, and you have to work fast. You got to make decisions, and because the light is, you know, the sun is constantly moving, so the light is changing, the sky, the clouds, everything's changing all around you. So, you know, it's fun. It's a great exercise, and I hope to maybe get out there this year, if not for sure next year. Do a demonstration.
And I'll be right with you. Yeah. So I can't wait to record that and let people see the magic happen. Yeah. Because you always pick very interesting places to go, and I think people would love it.
Yeah, I got a couple areas I've been scouting. Yeah. So hopefully soon we can get that going.
Fantastic. Well, guys, we are going to end the conversation here, but I want to let you know that I will list Brian's website in the description. He's not a social media kind of guy, so he doesn't have any of that. But you feel free to look at his website. He's got a really good array of his works on there. Thanks, Brian, so much for coming out in the storm.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks, guys, and please remember to like and subscribe, and if you can, share with your artist friends. Take care. Bye, Brian.
Bye.